My name's Tonia and I live in the beautiful market town of Pocklington in the Yorkshire Wolds.
I have born in Erzurum, then I moved to Istanbul when I was 10, and I lived in Istanbul from 10 till 17.
Well, I'd always really wanted to travel, so I went and got a job on the cruise ships, and it was some of the best years of my life.
When I decided to leave Istanbul to go and work on cruise lines, my mom came to me and said, Oscar, you need to make something out of your life. It was scary, I never knew that the world was that big. Then I landed to Vancouver, Canada. When did I meet the love of my life? Tonya. Not be able to speak English was a huge obstacle. I was pulled by the captain and said that I was a danger to the passengers. So they pulled me to a captain's office and said that with regret we have to fire you. And I, with my broken English, I told them, give me 2 months, I'll be perfect, kind of situation. So when I came downstairs, I saw this girl walking towards me. I mean, she was the most cutest thing that I've ever seen. She was my perfect type. She was brunette with big eyes.
I thought he looked handsome, had like a mysterious look to him, and also my first impression was that he was kind. I had gone down for breakfast, all the electricity, the aircon and everything was switched off for quite a long period of time on the cruise ship, and your dad was already in there. He'd got himself a plate of bread and cheese, and then he offered me some because I couldn't find any food.
So I went to her and said, you teach me English, I pay money. I went there to captain office, captain desk, and he said, I said, I'm ready, fire me, all the questions, I'm ready. And then he just said, describe me onion soup. And I described onion soup at its best, and then he tapped me on the shoulder and said, you're a lovely person, you'll do well in this because you have a good heart, and then you can continue to work on cruise lines. So I just came downstairs with a huge happiness and grabbed Tonya, and from there onward, I think it was just meant to be. So I came with her to England because I wanted to be with her.
So we got married at the registry office. We had 3 weeks planning for it, and I actually got my flowers from the petrol station and just made them into a nice bouquet.
It was the most beautiful wedding we ever had. The weather was perfect, Tonya looked gorgeous, I did feel the best, and that was a very special moment for my life for sure.
The time when I came to have Borak, and it was, for me, it was like a blessing because I'd had a miscarriage before. So then this was the middle of the night because Borak was born at 3 minutes past 3 on the 3rd of March, 3 minutes past 3 in the morning. So Oscar said, can we hurry it up because I'm at work at 6.
The midwife gave Borak to my arms. He was purple, he was the most ugliest boy I could ever see.
Borak was an absolutely beautiful baby, really expressive, so cute. A lot of people commented on him, what a beautiful baby.
But it's a weird feeling because how can you meet somebody first time in your life within the second that you know you're gonna love that person for the rest of your life?
I would say about him that he was really sweet and kind and considered other people.
Arrival to the earth that gave me the purpose that I needed to do well in my life. I needed that in my life to do well. I knew that I had to do well to provide the best for my son.
I don't think Oscar was where he wanted to be at that time.
I was a little twerp as a kid as well.
Working and raising Borak was difficult.
And we were like passing ships because I was working, and then I was also main carer with Borak, and Oscar would work late in the afternoon till late in the evening, and then he would sleep most of the day because he was tired.
I wasn't where I want to be at that time in my life. I knew that I deserved it more. I knew that I wanted to provide better for my family. My marriage was having troubles at the time. Borak was about 5. Tonya came to the kitchen and said that she needs to talk to me, and first thing that she said, Oscar, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. couldn't understand what she was saying.
I don't want to sound mean about Oscar because he's got some really fantastic qualities. He's a great guy. But when you're living under the roof and he's going through one of these stressful periods, you really feel it. I know it's probably come from his own upbringing.
My father was an alcoholic, and I struggled throughout my youth times to be able to cope with this.
And I think that made him tough as nails. He doesn't take shit from nobody. So I think that made things hard for my dad when it came to raising me. I know that my dad was going through a lot when I was younger, but I think once he had got divorced, we found each other. I think that was when our relationship really grew.
When Tonya and I divorced, Borak was 5 years old, and I ended up in one of my business, my only business at the time, the Cafe Venice, and had the little rooms.
And we didn't have a bed, we had a mattress on the floor.
I was upset that I was living in a rooftop area with the pigeons, but boy, we had the best time in there. I think that Borak enjoyed that intimacy. My brother was living there, my dad was living there, I was living there, and we had a nightclub just next door. It was banging noises.
So when we didn't have money, we had to make our own fun in our own mischievous ways. So me and my dad would make it a hobby of ours. Let's get the pellets, let's get the poppers, let's get the balloons. Let's fucking harass some drunk people. And we did. We made a lot of enemies, but we had a lot of fun. It was worth it. Fuck 'em.
And we made beautiful memories there.
I found that I fucking love that guy.
In 2008, I made Lucia York. That was my first restaurant. I was already in a hospitality business. I had takeaways by that time, I had coffees by that time, but I wanted to do restaurants. When I started Lucia, we weren't knew what was going on. We didn't really plan anything. Nothing that in my life has been calculated.
I was so young, but I just remember how our lives changed pretty radically once it had opened. I saw him dive into this business, and it wasn't overnight, but it was pretty fucking damn close. To have a dad that's so successful, it just brings me it makes me feel like I can do anything.
I mean, who doesn't love a little success story? I proved to myself, it gave me more confidence, to my surroundings and my family especially, said that I could be with somebody. There's nothing more joyful than being successful.
I would say probably when Borak was about 12. He'd started at Pocklington School, private school. He'd left Market Wheaton Junior School and he didn't know anyone at Pocklington School. So he was really struggling to make friends, and he would go up to anybody and try and make friends.
It was tough because I was half Turkish. I didn't sound like the other kids. I've been brought up in a public school. Everyone had already grew up with each other since they were like 4 years old, so I was a bit of the odd one out.
He just started getting didn't really speak to me. He was disrespectful to me. He just wanted to argue with everything, and he really, really pushed me.
There was a time when Borak got quiet, we noticed some differences with him. I mean, he was not himself.
Then one night I just said, "What is wrong with you, Borak? What's the matter? Why are you like this? I know something's wrong." And Borak said, "I'm depressed, Mum."
I don't know. I was very characterful, and the way that I'd acted when I was younger before that school was completely fine. You know, I grew up, I had loads of friends at primary school, but when I went to pot school, everyone just decided to be pricks to me.
And they basically just humiliated and degraded him in front of all the kids, you know, his friends and everything. And I know what Borak's like. He'd have been really trying hard, holding it together not to cry in front of them. And it makes me cry just to think of the way they must have made him feel. Really upset.
I had no idea. I had no idea that what Borak was going through this bullying process with these boys, holding him, caging him, saying words, physical and mental abuse that Borak went through. But Borak didn't show any signs, and I think that shows how strong he is. He didn't break up so easily.
I think one of the reasons why I didn't open up to my father sooner was because I was scared of him, of what he would think of me. He had a tough childhood. I felt like my childhood wasn't half as tough as his, so I guess I thought if I was going to come to him with my problems, then he was just going to shoot me down, and I was just so scared of disappointing him. I looked up to him always.
He wanted to prove himself to me at all the time. He just wanted to make me proud all the time, and I was telling him, I'm proud of you all the way. And I was so disappointed in myself that I didn't notice this. But I was so happy and so proud of Borak and coming out and mentioning these things, because it was so hard for anyone to come and say these things. I was super proud, but at the same time I was very sad.
So I went straight to the headmaster and told him that we wanted it sorted out. And it was a long process, and Borak didn't really want, he was worried about what they'd say at school.
Immediately we get together with Tonya. We responded as a family.
We always agreed that when it comes to Borak, that we would be together as a family.
When I told my parents about what was going on with me at school, it was probably the worst and best time of my life. It became so huge because it turns out I wasn't the only one. There were over a dozen people that had come forward and said that these guys were dickheads and that they were bullying them too. And other people had come forward, but all those people weren't coming to school. Like, a lot of those people weren't coming to school. It was me that was going to school every day.
So he kind of went from being this little lovely boy, funny, loads of character and everything, to going through the bullying stage and kind of going into himself.
After that experience, I think he has realized the true face of what people can be. That made him grow up instantly. It did make him angry. It could be one of the reasons why he gets so angry at the age of 17, 18.
Me and my dad went through a lot of arguments. We were constantly arguing all the time. Whenever I'd go out in York, I didn't get bouncers that were coming to get me. I got my dad. So my dad would come and grab me out of the crowd. All my friends would say hi, obviously, and then he'd kick my ass outside and take me home. So he often had to put up with a lot of my shit.
He was angry all the time. He was so hard to deal with. He was in every possible way that teenager can be. I struggled a lot to the point that I actually called my mom and dad and cried many times about him and said that I don't know what to do. How did I deal with the time? I took a lot of advice. I went to professionals at this expert. I read a lot of books. I have searched online. How can I be a better father? How can I be understanding? We then decided to build Borak confidence in not just the mental way but also physical way. I started taking him to the gyms. Because I'm a regular gym goer. We went to do boxing together.
After what happened, my dad was a massive support, and he decided to take me to the gym with him. And it really brought me out of my shy side and helped me become who I am today. I think I'll have to say that thanks to my parents, to the support that my mum gave me, the love and compassion, the it's okay, Borak, you're okay how you are, and to my father, having brought me out of this pit and pushed me to become something more than what I ever thought I could have ever achieved, and no one could take that away from me. Advice that I would give to myself: sometimes things need to happen so you can come out better. True strength isn't by following others, it's about being you and pursuing the things that you want to do, pursuing the things that you like. Don't just appreciate the people that you want to love or you want them to love you. Appreciate the ones that already do. As well as that, don't listen to people that are 13.
For the teenagers, I would say trust your father, your family. They know the best. They are the best people you can ever have. Their best intentions to do you well. They will never ever say something that is jeopardize your future. For the parents, be patient. These kids will come around in time. They will have a different path. They're not you.
Realising that people have different experiences throughout their lives that mould them into the person that they are today. And I think, Borak's realisation of that and understanding that me and his dad we're just human beings as well, and we've gone through all different things that have made us feel differently, that have given us a different outlook on life, and just understanding that we're all individuals. I'd just like to say that having a child is a blessing.
People that are hurting inside, that are truly hurting, they know how to cover it up. And you need to look deeper within. It's difficult being a teenager. It's difficult for a parent to understand a teenager because times change. But one thing that doesn't change is the love and support that your family will always give you. Don't take it for granted, and enjoy it while you can.
What's your name?
My name is Borak.